In the dim corridors of Outpost Echo 7, the Varkel prepared their next move. Built into the jagged cliffs of Ygora Prime, this underground facility thrummed with low hums and flickering violet lights. For centuries, the Varkel had observed Earth, charted its trajectories, and waited, hidden, patient, nearly invisible across the gulf of light years. Lieutenant Serev, one of their elite field agents, paced in front of the enormous viewport overlooking the deserted canyon. His translucent, cobalt-veined skin illuminated faintly by the base's emergency lights. A distant humming, Earth's radio broadcasts captured by the Varkel's deep space receivers, played softly in his mind, feeding data to his neural lattice. He turned to address Commander Krell, whose multi-limbed form cast shadows like alien sculpture. Scans confirm, Serev's telepathic voice resonated, the humans have deployed heavier fleets than predicted. Their carriers, more plentiful. Krell's horn-like crest bristled. They awakened too soon, he replied. But we must proceed. Deployment begins at 0200 local time. Below them, biomechanical assembly lines clacked and shifted, uncrewed drones constructing the Zithra drones, sleek, winged machines encoded with predictive AI, designed to intercept Earth's first line. A hiss echoed as cooling fluid poured over hypermatter core reactors. 0200 hours, Echo 7 Control Hub. Red alarm lights flashed across metallic panels. Serev moved with swift precision, fingers dancing along holographic consoles. The base was near full readiness, Zithra docks charged, space portals aligned. Data uplinks hummed, ready to send cloaked signals across interstellar arrays. A countdown overlay glowed, T-7 minutes and 45 seconds. Serev, hissed Krell, low and urgent. Beam the cloak sequences. I want our presence on Earth masked by intergalactic noise. Disruption first, strike silent. Lieutenant Serev nodded sharply and initiated the sequence. Across the cavernous launch bay, dozens of Zithra drones powered up, winglets forging in the violet glow, crystalline sensors lighting in sequence. Their claws flexed. Their vibrolasers charged. The hum rose to a crescendo. T-1 minute and 30 seconds. Echo 7's master sensors detected a new blip, Earth's fleet, closing in, capital ships, destroyers, frigates, like a ravenous swarm. They swept toward Ygora's gravity well, green arcs flaring across tactical displays. Krell's operculums flared with incandescent indignation. They come. They fear nothing. Serev's gaze hardened. But tension is human nature, barely controlled. We exploit that. The countdown blinked, T-10 seconds. Breathing deep, KHRL, surrounded by organometallic consoles, deployed the quantum stealth field /. In one shimmering pulse, the base vanished from all human scans. Seconds later, the Zithra horde launched, slicing upward into gravity shafts, racing into open sky. Battle orbit above Ygora. Through thick, striated clouds of emerald gas, Zithra drones closed on. Earth's vanguard. Their vibrolasers burned through hulls, energy pulses overloaded shields. Smaller human fighters darted, firing tracer blasts, but the drones, fast and numerous, overwhelmed them. Suddenly, a human dreadnought opened its dorsal turrets, unleashing seismic proton beams. A blaze lit the pause as a volley struck the fleet. The first amber flare of destruction blossomed among the Zithra. Inside Echo 7's command. Alarm klaxons roared. Serev's internal systems buzzed with recalculations. Commander, they counterstrike. One dreadnought disabled 2 squadrons. Losses at 23%. Krell remained statuesque. Sacrifices expected. Launch Phase 2. He lifted a multi-jointed arm and pressed it against the console. A hidden vault opened. Inside, the Psionic Harbinger, a living weapon aged from the bedrock of Ygora. A writhing crystal, it pulsed with strange energies and haunting resonance. They cannot fight mind war, Krell said softly. Moments later. Interstellar battlefield. As the eerie pulse from the Harbinger dispersed into the sky, human pilots faltered. Their systems glitched, communication scrambled. Vessels spun like dying insects. The fleet fell silent, aimless. Above the chaos, Serev's voice cut through mental sirens. Empower all drones. Strike in volleys. Zithra slewed their needle-sharp bodies through distorting fields and struck. Ships broke apart. Explosions erupted in silent fireworks. Epilogue, Echo 7 Recovery Bay. The aftermath was grim. Broken drone husks littered the skydocks. The base bore scars, cracks in obsidian walls, coolant drips from ruptured conduits. But the mission succeeded. Krell watched as Serev tended to injured drone prototypes. One day, Serev mused, the humans will learn. They may adapt, but we shall evolve faster. Krell smiled, if an alien could. Let them come again. We'll be ready. The corridors of Echo 7 pulsed with low frequencies, reverberations of alien technology woven into the living walls. Far beneath the surface of Ygora Prime, hidden from all human telescopes, the facility expanded, organic, mechanical, evolving like a creature breathing in the darkness of space. It was not merely a base. It was an organism, a sentinel, a monument to Varkel precision and secrecy. Lieutenant Serev moved swiftly, his translucent exosuit shifting with each calculated step. Behind the shimmering walls, a neural network pulsed, collecting data from across the solar sector. Every movement of human fleets, every encoded broadcast, every defensive frequency, they were captured, analyzed, dissected with chilling efficiency. Within the heart of the base, the chamber of the Nexus stood. Here, Commander Krell awaited, his towering form partially shrouded by arcs of bioplasmic energy coiling along the floor. Tioch. And so, in the silent depths of Ygora Prime, the alien base stood victorious, its true location still cloaked, its enemies battered, and its ambition burning brighter than the distant star. The corridors of Echo 7 pulsed with low frequencies, reverberations of alien technology woven into the living walls. Far beneath the surface of Ygora Prime, hidden from all human telescopes, the facility expanded, organic, mechanical, evolving like a creature breathing in the darkness of space. It was not merely a base. It was an organism, a sentinel, a monument to Varkel precision and secrecy. Lieutenant Serev moved swiftly, his translucent exosuit shifting with each calculated step. Behind the shimmering walls, a neural network pulsed, collecting data from across the solar sector. Every movement of human fleets, every encoded broadcast, every defensive frequency, they were captured, analyzed, dissected with chilling efficiency. Within the heart of the base, the chamber of the Nexus stood. Here, Commander Krell awaited, his towering form partially shrouded by arcs of bioplasmic energy coiling along the floor. The chamber hummed with telepathic energy, raw and ancient. At the center hovered the Nexus core, an immense crystalline sphere, floating, glowing, humming with psionic resonance. Its surfaces shimmered with countless alien symbols, a language only the Varkel could decipher. Serev approached, lowering his head in reverence. Commander, long-range scans reveal accelerated human fleet movements. Their reinforcements bypassed our predictive timelines. Krell's elongated limbs shifted, and his voice resonated inside Serev's mind, cold, calculated, unwavering. They are desperate. Fear accelerates the flawed species. But desperation clouds strategy. Let them race toward their fate. Around them, organic displays flickered to life, illustrating the complex network of human warships advancing toward Ygora Prime's hidden coordinates. Battleships bristling with particle cannons. Strike cruisers powered by antimatter cores. Earth had learned quickly, but not quickly enough. Serev activated his neural uplink, syncing with the Nexus core. A rush of data flooded his consciousness, stellar charts, energy signatures, interspecies war logs spanning millennia. Within that sea of knowledge, one undeniable truth echoed: the Varkel had never lost a planetary foothold. We must proceed with Phase 2, Serev affirmed, his voice devoid of doubt. Deploy Psionic Harbinger across the upper atmosphere. Scramble strike. Inside the command chamber, Serev's gaze hardened. Humanity believes it comes to conquer, he whispered, the edges of his voice sharpened by certainty. But they march only toward their extinction. Krell's bioluminescent eyes gleamed faintly. And so the cycle continues. We observe. We adapt. We endure. As the distant stars shimmered beyond the biosynthetic hulls of the alien base, the final sequence initiated. In absolute silence, Echo 7 prepared for the inevitable collision of species, the flawed defiance of humanity against the cold, calculated supremacy of the Varkel. The war had not yet begun, but the outcome was already written. The dark abyss of space stretched endlessly beyond Ygora Prime, a cold, star-speckled canvas hiding the silent preparations of the Varkel. The human fleet advanced like ants climbing toward an unseen predator's maw, unaware, unprepared, overconfident in their primitive courage. In the depths of Echo 7, the alien base's neural grid pulsed with data, dissecting every movement, every heat signature, every whispered transmission of the approaching armada. Lieutenant Seraph stood within the psionic control chamber, observing streams of energy cascading across the curved walls. This was the nerve center, the birthplace of the Varkel's most lethal weapon, the psionic harbinger. It was not merely a device, but an entity. Ancient. Conscious. Forged in the forgotten wars of galaxies beyond human comprehension. Beneath layers of translucent alloy, the harbinger hovered, its crystalline form rippling with spectral light, every fracture line glowing with dormant power. Within its core resided a living consciousness, a symbiotic intelligence bound to Varkel command, capable of disrupting thought itself, unraveling minds from within. Seraph activated his neural relay. At once, waves of ancient code flooded his consciousness. Tactical overlays, predictive combat scenarios, atmospheric calculations, all aligned with precision. His orders were absolute. Commence atmospheric breach, he commanded, voice layered with psionic resonance. Deploy harbinger fields along all planetary vectors. Cripple their cognitive centers before physical engagement begins. Across Echo 7, systems ignited. Ventral ports hissed open. From hidden silos, arrays of psionic projectors rose, twisting with alien tendrils, feeding off the base's energy core. Their target, the human fleet closing through Ygora's upper orbit, their vessels aligned like predators, but oblivious to the invisible noose tightening around them. Inside the Harbinger's chamber, Commander Krell materialized, his towering form coalescing from the shadows. They sense nothing, Krell stated, his voice a blend of telepathic whispers and vocal vibration. They believe their scanners sufficient. Their shields impenetrable. But their minds remain their greatest flaw. Seraph's gaze never wavered. Courage clouds perception. Fear fractures strategy. We infect both. With a single pulse of neural energy, the Harbinger activated. Ethereal waves cascaded upward, silent, formless, intangible to crude human instruments. But within the advancing fleet, chaos ignited. Pilots gripped their consoles as confusion erupted, systems flickering, visions warping, commands fracturing. Voices on comms channels faltered into static. Direction lost. Cohesion crumbled. Above Ygora Prime, Earth's ships drifted, blinded, fractured, exposed. Within Echo 7, tactical displays projected human vessels veering off course, colliding, systems destabilizing. Some drifted powerlessly into the planet's magnetic fields, others spun into one another. Metallic husks shattering under the void's pressure. Seraph adjusted neural frequencies, deepening the Harbinger's assault. Amplify the disruption fields. Target command vessels. Disintegrate their strategic hierarchy. Commander Krell's bioluminescent eyes flared in silent approval. All life resists extinction, Krell whispered. But resistance is irrelevant. The final phase began as wave after wave of cloaked Zithra drones descended, their biomechanical forms slicing through space like spectral predators. With the human fleet paralyzed, their defenses fractured, their retaliation was futile. Seraph's voice echoed across the neural grid. Let them witness futility. Let them remember the name. Varkel. Above the silent planet, amidst the fractured remains of humanity's pride, the alien base prepared for the final blow, cold, precise, inevitable. The war for Ygora Prime had entered its ruthless crescendo. The silent void beyond Ygora Prime, once an endless expanse of stars, now shimmered with the scattered wreckage of human vessels drifting powerless in the cold dark. Their fractured hulls turned slowly, remnants of Earth's first daring assault, ambition shattered by the precision of the Varkel. Yet, within Echo 7, the alien stronghold carved beneath the planet's crust, the battle was far from over. Lieutenant Serev's neural implants pulsed steadily as he monitored tactical schematics projected through the base's consciousness interface. Across the layered holographic grids, Earth's surviving fleet units blinked in chaotic disarray. Their battleships floundered, weapon systems compromised, pilots disoriented, communication webs dissolved by the psionic harbinger's relentless assault. But amidst the fracturing formation, Serev's analytical arrays detected an anomaly. Commander Krell, Serev communicated telepathically, his voice etched with cold precision, unidentified human vessel approaching Vector Delta 7. Its emissions are irregular. Cloaking signature fragmented, propulsion readings inconsistent. No prior database match. Commander Krell's multifaceted eyes narrowed, his towering form gliding toward the projection nexus. Irregularities imply either evolution or desperation, he responded, his voice vibrating through layered frequencies. Investigate. Caution supersedes conquest. Serev enhanced sensor magnification. The vessel materialized on the grid, a jagged, asymmetrical ship, unlike Earth's typical designs. Its frame emitted low-level quantum signatures, fluctuating beyond baseline parameters. Primitive, yet unpredictable. The Varkel had accounted for every known human advancement. Every weapon, every tactic catalogued, dissected, countered. But this deviation required scrutiny. Deploy Zithra interceptors, Serev ordered. Non-lethal engagement. Contain, analyze, extract data. Within the subterranean hangar bays, the biomechanical constructs stirred, sleek, angular, built from alloy and organic tissue, there. Crimson sensors illuminating as they launched silently into the atmosphere. As the alien drones approached, the human vessel altered course unexpectedly. Its angular engines pulsed erratically, propulsion surging beyond projected limits. In seconds, it bypassed the drone formation, accelerating toward Ygora Prime's upper atmosphere, a reckless, illogical maneuver. Serev's neural processors recalculated. The anomaly defied standard algorithms. Krell's voice interrupted. Their desperation escalates. They intend infiltration, or destruction. Echo 7's planetary defense matrix powered up. Plasma arrays aligned, gravitational distorters pulsed. But the human vessel, though primitive in construction, carried an energy signature unlike anything encountered, a chaotic storm of quantum instability at its core. They've weaponized collapse fields, Serev realized. His expression remained stoic, but within, calculations raced. A self-destruct mechanism. Designed not for victory, but contamination. If the ship detonated near Echo 7, the blast could fracture the planet's crust, destabilizing the alien base itself. Intercept immediately, Krell commanded, tones sharpened by urgency. Do not allow contamination to breach subsurface layers. Zithra drones surged after the vessel, but its trajectory arced violently, twisting through gravitational currents, propulsion systems sacrificing integrity for raw acceleration. In seconds, it breached Ygora Prime's lower atmosphere, hull ablaze, spiraling toward the hidden alien fortress buried beneath layers of basalt and obsidian. Within Echo 7, alarms pulsed across the neural grid. Reinforced partitions sealed, energy fields deployed, subterranean systems shifting into defensive configurations. Serev's voice cut through the tension. Target acquired. Surface interceptors locked. Initiating plasma net. A lattice of high-energy beams projected across the sky, converging as the vessel descended, its fractured hull trailing fire, internal systems destabilizing, but mission unwavering. With a final, violent lurch, the ship collided against the plasma net, energy discharges rippling outward as its structure disintegrated mid-air. Fragments vaporized, quantum cores neutralized before contamination could breach planetary crust. In the aftermath, debris rained harmlessly across the desolate surface. Within Echo 7, systems stabilized, alarms silenced. Krell's voice resonated through the command chamber. They sacrificed themselves, like primitive insects, to strike beyond their reach. Serev's gaze sharpened. And yet, insects adapt. He turned toward the tactical displays, already scanning for the next deviation, for the inevitable human retaliation. The war was not yet over. It had only begun to evolve. In the deepest sectors of Echo 7, where organic machinery twisted through subterranean caverns and psionic conduits pulsed with ancient energy, the Varkel prepared for escalation. Despite the failed human infiltration, their attempt revealed a single, undeniable truth: humanity, though primitive, was evolving faster than predicted. Desperation accelerated ingenuity. Fear birthed defiance. Both were dangerous variables. Lieutenant Serev stood within the neural nexus, his consciousness interfacing with the base's core processing lattice. Streams of data flowed through him: battlefield telemetry, biological scans, intercepted human transmissions. Patterns emerged, fractured, erratic, but unmistakably advancing. Across the central chamber, Commander Krell observed the evolving simulations, his towering frame illuminated by bioplasmic glyphs swirling along the chamber walls. His multi-limbed form remained still, yet his mind pulsed with calculations centuries beyond human comprehension. They adapt, Krell acknowledged, his voice reverberating through the psionic channels. Faster than anticipated. The infiltration vessel unstable, yet effective in concept. If their reckless ingenuity continues, containment will become inefficient. Serev's neural implants pulsed, synchronizing with the Nexus core. Their technological leaps outpace their understanding. They weaponize chaos. Sacrifice logic for impact. But their minds remain fractured. Vulnerable. Krell approached, his elongated limbs folding as he observed the streaming projections. Prepare for psychological infiltration, he ordered. Their physical weapons evolve. Their neural defenses do not. Across the Nexus chamber, dozens of psionic harbinger nodes activated, floating crystalline entities, radiating spectral energy. Unlike conventional assault drones, these constructs targeted the mind, bypassing armor, exploiting the cognitive weaknesses of organic beings. Serev calibrated frequencies, his consciousness merging with the harbinger network. Deploy infiltration patterns. Insert subliminal dissonance into their fleet communications. Erode morale. Fracture unity. Beyond Ygora Prime's atmosphere, the remnants of Earth's fleet drifted, scattered but regrouping. Their flagship, a colossal carrier bristling with defensive arrays, broadcasted desperate commands, attempting to re-establish order amidst chaos. Pilots reoriented. Engineers patched failing systems. Admirals issued rallying protocols. But the Harbinger's influence had already begun. Unseen waves of psionic interference swept across human channels. Communications fragmented. Perceptions warped. Fear magnified beyond reason. Confidence eroded into paranoia. Within the flagship, captains argued, disoriented, suspecting sabotage. Crew members hallucinated phantom threats, firing upon allies. Entire squadrons spiraled into confusion, their cohesion unraveling like decaying strands of code. Serev monitored the unraveling patterns with cold efficiency. Phase 1 successful, he reported. Cognitive fragmentation spreading across 30% of their fleet. Commander Krell's bioluminescent gaze darkened. Accelerate progression. Target command hierarchy. Decapitate leadership structures. Without direction, they collapse. Across the battlefield, Harbinger nodes intensified their assault. Human commanders faltered, voices breaking, orders distorted, tactical oversight dissolving. Battleships drifted aimlessly. Fighters collided. Defenses crumbled. In Echo 7's depths, the neural grid pulsed with success. Yet, Serap's calculations detected anomalies, scattered resistance pockets, human individuals displaying mental resilience beyond projections. Some adapt, Seraph observed, curiosity threading his otherwise clinical tone. Isolated, but noteworthy. Krell's expression remained unreadable. Adaptation breeds the illusion of hope. Hope blinds them. We exploit that. As the psionic onslaught continued, human forces fractured further. Their fleet, once formidable, now drifted as scattered remnants. Broken, leaderless, spiraling toward inevitable extinction, but amidst the collapse, buried deep within fractured communications, Seraph detected encrypted human transmissions, untraceable origins, shielded frequencies, divergent from standard protocols. His eyes narrowed, data streams recalibrating. "They're hiding something," Seraph stated. "An unknown variable. Buried beneath their failures." Krell's voice darkened with cold anticipation. "Then, we extract it. And when they reveal their final weapon, we ensure it becomes their last." As the alien base thrived beneath Ygora Prime, the next stage of war evolved, not through brute force, but through the dissection of the human mind itself. The lower strata of Echo 7 pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence as the alien base transitioned into full infiltration protocol. Beneath the surface of Ygora Prime, layered beneath kilometers of reinforced obsidian and organic alloys, the Varkel's technological heart adapted to humanity's resistance. Though Earth's fleet floundered, fragmented by psionic assaults, isolated anomalies persisted, pockets of human defiance buried within encrypted transmissions and neural shields far more sophisticated than anticipated. Lieutenant Seraph moved along the neural conduit, a vast corridor where the base's processing veins intertwined like living roots beneath a metallic skeleton. Along the walls, psionic resonance coils crackled, transmitting fragments of intercepted human communications, disjointed words, scrambled coordinates, encrypted patterns cloaked beneath static distortions. Seraph's neural interface pulsed, filtering the noise. Within the fractured signals, a consistent anomaly emerged, a persistent sequence buried across multiple transmissions. Its structure was irregular, its encryption primitive, yet its presence undeniable. It was not random. It was a message. Commander Krell's telepathic presence surged across the neural grid. "Report," his voice resonated, distant yet commanding. Progression of cognitive suppression remains within optimal parameters, yet pockets of human cohesion persist. Seraph projected the deciphered fragments across the shared interface. A pattern formed, coordinates, layered within layered algorithms, masked beneath artificial static. But these coordinates did not lead to known fleet positions, nor planetary structures. "They're converging on an unknown object," Seraph stated. "External to Ygora Prime. Beyond planetary orbit. Its signal pattern suggests human origin, but design unknown." Krell approached, his towering frame exuding calculated menace. "A contingency," he deduced. "An unaccounted variable concealed beyond our projections." Across the neural grid, projections materialized, a vast object stationed along Ygora Prime's orbital perimeter, its silhouette crude yet massive. Its structure radiated minimal emissions, cloaked beneath false atmospheric signatures. Human engineering, but laced with unfamiliar energy fields. Primitive deception, Krell assessed. But deception requires purpose. What resides within? Seraph recalibrated sensor arrays, enhancing spectral analysis. Readings fragmented, distorted by irregular energy surges. A mobile platform, Seraph concluded. Possibly weaponized. Shielded against standard scans. Likely their final gambit. Krell's bioluminescent eyes darkened, their glow dimming with predatory focus. "Then we dismantle their illusions." Across Echo 7, Zithra squadrons mobilized. Cloaked hunter drones activated, aligning along gravitational vectors. Psionic harbinger nodes repositioned, synchronizing frequencies for targeted infiltration. But as the assault initiated, new anomalies emerged. Within the unknown object, faint neural patterns registered, erratic, disjointed, yet laced with a familiar frequency. Human minds, but augmented. Expanded beyond baseline capacity. They've modified themselves, Seraph observed, analyzing neurological schematics. Neural enhancement exceeding known limits. Cognitive dampening suppressed. Resistance, intentional. Krell's voice reverberated through the base. They've sacrificed their biological purity for defiance. Evolution, driven by extinction's shadow. As Zithra drones closed upon the vessel, defense arrays activated. Energy pulses erupted from concealed turrets. The sky ignited with chaotic exchanges, biomechanical constructs clashing against human engineering laced with desperation and unpredictable innovation. Yet the unknown object held position, defying projections. Within its core, psionic emission spiked, erratic but potent. Human minds, forcibly expanded, weaponized beyond ethical constraint. Seraph recalculated. Their resistance stems from cognitive augmentation. They're rewriting their own limitations. Krell observed the deteriorating assault patterns, a rare glimmer of intrigue within his expression. Then they stand on the edge of their own destruction. The base's neural grid adapted. Infiltration protocols escalated. Psionic resonance amplified beyond ethical thresholds. If they transcend their minds, Krell stated coldly, we shatter those minds entirely. As Echo 7's systems recalibrated, the war's next stage emerged, not of ships or weapons, but of minds, stripped of boundaries, waging war upon themselves. The Varkel prepared, not for conquest, but for the annihilation of human thought itself. In the command core of Echo 7, deep beneath the jagged crust of Ygora Prime, the atmosphere pulsed with a rising tension that even the Varkel's perfected logic could not entirely suppress. The human resistance had twisted unpredictability into strategy, mutating desperation into evolution. Their augmented vessel, drifting beyond conventional scans, had withstood the precision strikes of Zithra drones and disrupted the base's psionic assault grids. Lieutenant Seraph stood before the Nexus Chamber's projection lattice, his consciousness woven directly into the neural streams. Streams of data cascaded around him, battle telemetry, neural interference patterns, real-time cognition maps of both human and Varkel forces. Despite overwhelming technological superiority, anomalies persisted. The human vessel, retrofitted with crude but potent enhancements, projected fluctuating psionic barriers, nullifying traditional infiltration protocols. Seraph's voice resonated through the neural grid, cold, analytical. Their augmentation, biological integration with synthetic neural enhancers. Primitive, unstable, yet effective. Cognitive thresholds expanded. Resistance amplified. Commander Krell approached, his towering silhouette carved from shadow and bioluminescence. His gaze burned with evolutionary contempt. They fracture their biology, violate their genetic integrity to grasp survival. Such desperation accelerates collapse. But collapse must be engineered. Across the tactical interface, the human vessel's trajectory shifted, accelerating along unpredictable vectors. Its augmented crew broadcast encrypted signals, bursts of incomprehensible data laced with psionic distortion. Standard decryption failed. Human minds, once predictable, now spiraled into chaotic potential. They'd bypassed base logic structures, Seraph observed, recalibrating. Cognition operating on fragmented, multi-layered frameworks. Unstable, yet beyond modeled resistance. Krell's expression darkened, bioluminescent veins flaring beneath translucent flesh. Then we fracture their foundation entirely. He initiated the neural severance protocol, a last resort infiltration method forbidden under Varkel evolutionary doctrine. A psionic weapon not merely designed to infiltrate, but to shatter. Across Echo 7, Harbinger nodes reconfigured. Resonance frequencies climbed beyond conventional thresholds, tunneling into the quantum substrata of human neural functions. The assault targeted not the body, but the fragile latticework of consciousness itself. High above, in orbit's silent void, the human vessel convulsed. Augmented crew writhed beneath the strain. Cognitive overload rippled through neural implants. Their synthetic enhancements magnified perception, but also magnified pain. Minds stretched beyond biological design began to fracture. Yet within the vessel's core, a final contingency ignited. Unseen by the Varkel, deep within the augmented ship's reactor matrix, a secondary construct powered up. Its framework ancient, its origin, not entirely human. Serev detected the surge. His calculations faltered for the first time. Non-human technology detected. External intervention, unmodeled variable present. Krell's posture stiffened. His voice layered with unease. Explain. Serev enhanced spectral scans. The construct emitted hybridized signals, human engineering laced with alien architecture unfamiliar to Varkel databases. Its core pulsed with presentient algorithms. Technology beyond Earth's known capabilities. They've acquired external assets, Serev deduced, his voice cold but edged with reluctant acknowledgement. Another species. Unknown allies. Possibly remnants of pre-contact civilizations. Krell's bioluminescent eyes narrowed, the prospect of unknown variables igniting evolutionary concern. Across the human vessel, the hybrid construct unleashed counter-frequencies, psionic shockwaves that nullified the neural severance protocol. Echo 7's infiltration arrays faltered. Data streams fragmented. The base's psionic grip loosened. They've weaponized ancient relics, Serev concluded. Primitive, yet devastatingly effective. Krell's gaze turned toward Ygora Prime's dark horizon, calculations racing. Desperation has bred alliances beyond their world. In that moment, for the first time in centuries, the Varkel understood humanity's greatest flaw, unpredictability, was no longer bound to their species alone. The war was expanding. Within the subterranean depths of Echo 7, the alien base pulsed with erratic energy fluctuations, an anomaly that had not occurred in centuries of Varkel dominion. The hybrid construct aboard the human vessel, a relic of unknown origin fused with primitive human innovation, had fractured the calculated stability of Varkel systems. Across neural pathways and psionic grids, the carefully engineered order twisted into fragmented instability. Lieutenant Serev stood at the epicenter of the Nexus chamber, his consciousness locked into the base's neural lattice. Waves of corrupted data cascaded around him. Predictive algorithms glitched. Cognition simulations collapsed. The human vessel, against all projections, persisted beyond acceptable probabilities. Serev's expression remained controlled, his mind recalculating with ruthless efficiency. Unknown technology disrupting psionic channels. Neural contamination isolated but spreading. Human vessel accelerating toward polar orbit. Purpose unclear. Commander Krell materialized. From the biosynthetic shadows, his towering form radiating silent authority. His bioluminescent eyes narrowed as tactical projections revealed the deteriorating battlefield. They weaponize relics beyond their understanding. Such tools, while potent, cannot overcome evolutionary inevitability. Across the orbital perimeter, Varkel hunter drones engaged in rapid pursuit. The human vessel, its structure augmented with alien alloys, twisted unpredictably through the void, propulsion systems overclocked, emissions masked beneath artificial distortions. But it was the vessel's core signature that commanded Serev's unwavering focus. They carry a device within, he reported, analyzing fluctuating energy spikes. Quantum instability pattern suggests a singularity seed, primitive yet viable. Detonation near Ygora's crust would compromise subterranean structures. Krell's bioluminescence dimmed with lethal resolve. They intend planetary breach. Self-destruction repurposed as strategic assault primitive. Effective. Serev enhanced psionic frequencies, reactivating infiltration arrays. Across the battle grid, Harbinger nodes recalibrated, pushing resonance levels to critical thresholds. Yet the human vessel adapted, its hybrid construct amplifying defensive barriers beyond modeled tolerances. Inside Echo 7, warnings pulsed along organic circuitry. The vessel's trajectory veered, downward, toward Ygora Prime's magnetic pole, an access vector hidden beneath planetary distortions. They've identified our subterranean apertures, Serev concluded. Access points engineered for atmospheric siphoning now compromised. Krell's voice resonated through the command lattice. Intercept. Total neutralization. No fragments survive. Within moments, Zithra squadrons accelerated toward atmospheric breach vectors. Plasma arrays ignited along the surface. Magnetic cannons aligned. The assault, merciless and absolute, commenced. Yet as the vessel plummeted, its hybrid core erupted with gravitational pulses, folding localized spacetime in controlled distortions. The ship twisted through atmospheric defenses, slipping beyond targeting algorithms. Fragments of human ingenuity, merged with alien relics, created impossible mobility. Despite sustained fire, the vessel breached the upper atmosphere, its structure aflame but intact. Beneath Ygora Prime's icy crust, Echo 7's sensors locked onto its descent vector, directly aligned with a vulnerable maintenance conduit, hidden beneath kilometers of planetary ice. Serev's neural implants surged with calculations. Point of impact, sublevel Theta 7. Breach probability, 62%. Krell's gaze hardened. Then we deny them impact entirely. From within the planet's crust, seismic stabilizers activated. Geological tremors rippled outward. Magnetic shear fields engaged. The planet itself, weaponized against intrusion. Above, the human vessel spiraled, systems failing, yet momentum unwavering. Its crew, augmented and desperate, activated final contingencies. The singularity seed within its core destabilized, ready to collapse upon detonation. Within Echo 7, defensive barriers strained. Harbinger nodes overloaded. The perfect order of Varkel architecture twisted beneath unpredictable human audacity. Serev recalibrated, his mind unfazed. If they breach, containment protocols activate. Structural integrity sacrificed for survival. Krell's final command echoed across the neural grid. Let them fall, but they fall into extinction. As the vessel plummeted, streaking toward Echo 7's hidden depths, the war's crucible approached its inevitable, catastrophic collision.